Helit Barel is a former director at Israel's National Security Council. Madam Barel is now joining us live from Tel Aviv. Madam Barel, thank you for making time for us and welcome. Many of those who voted Trump back to the White House say his policies were way different than those of Democrats, and they were inviting as well. And he did repeatedly say during his campaigns that if he were president, there won't be any wars in the world. Now that he is president again, do you have hope that he will remain true to his words and rhetoric, especially on West Asia region?
Well, I really can't predict how he will act once he's president. But he has committed more than once and mentioned in his speech as well, his victory speech, his desire to see wars over, and had spoken specifically before about the wars here in Lebanon and Gaza, the conflict here. So I am assuming that the message that's coming from the incoming Trump administration will be bring this to an end. And so that is probably what we will hear from him. It remains to be seen whether by the time he enters the White House in 2 months, that will still be something that he will need to impose, or whether, as we have been hearing over the last few weeks, things are coming to some sort of a movement towards closure, at least on the Lebanese front. So it might be that within those 8 weeks, there will have been serious movement.
Madam Barel, now that it looks like, or it is, that President Joe Biden is a lame duck president until January of next year, when Trump does take office, what do you foresee will happen in the next 1 month in West Asia?
Again, it's very hard to say because of the different political influences that fit in here. Strategically, it seems that Israel has certain goals in Lebanon still to achieve, but generally is probably in an operational way ready to move towards reaching some sort of regulation, even though that's not going to be easy because there are very far-reaching demands and needs that Israel has in order to make sure that its northern border is protected and that a second October 7th can't be prevented. But at least that is on the table, is being discussed in a pretty intense way. On the Gaza front, it's harder to say. We heard yesterday from Prime Minister Netanyahu, unofficially, but news sources here have spoken about how this still, will be a prolonged issue and so on and so forth. Very unpopular message for the Israeli public here who want to see our hostages come back and feel that even waiting for a Trump administration, which is within 2 months, is too long to wait to wrap this up. The feeling that the elimination of Sinwar from the scene with Hamas should have brought to some sort of breakthrough in creating a deal that will bring back our hostages. So very hard to know what will happen in the next 2 months. And of course, President Biden is called, many times.
We seem to have lost Helit Barel. Helit Barel is a former director at Israel's National Security Council. She was joining us from Tel Aviv. We'll try and connect with her, but let's just move on now